Well, hey there, happy gamers. Expressman here for a fourth installment of Getting Started in Space Engineers, your guide to everything you know how to go from noob to super cool expert in just a few videos. So, did a couple things while we were away here. First of all, I welded up the final two. Um, wind turbines. This is the second storm that's hit us, which is overdriving. You can see how fast they're spinning. Overdriving in a good way. The battery, which is going to be full in just a few minutes. You also notice I welded our mast for the things because I'm terrified that one stray lightning strike would take this whole tower out, and that would be beyond sad. If they take out one of the arms, fine, whatever. Grind down, replace. Which is a point I forgot to make earlier when we were grinding down the parts of the pod. By and large, when you grind something down, you keep all of the components. So, for example, this refinery, I could grind it down, build it again, grind it down, build it again, grind it down, build it again, as many times as I wanted. Certain things don't do that, though. For example, if I were to grind down this battery, I would have everything except the power cells. I would be out those 80 power cells. So it's kind of a case-by-case situation. By and large, things that need medical comp and power cells, you lose those. And everything else, you keep 100%. Another thing, though, to keep in mind is if you switch from small grid to large grid, you can be short. Excuse me. You can be short some things. So, for example, our pod over there has a O2H2 generator. If I were to grind that down and build it over here, I would learn that the large grid O2H2 generator, in fact, requires more resources because it's just straight up a bigger unit. Whereas our survival kit is basically exactly precisely the same. So, there goes my voice. Got my water. So, the other thing I did... excuse me, was additional exploration. And I found a knifey, which is nickel, iron, and cobalt. Knifey Co. Whatever. So it is unfortunately 1.5 kilometers away, which is a bit much, but only for suit flying, which we're only going to do so much of. And I made a couple trips of iron over here and refined it. So we're in a good place to do the future things we need to do, which first of all is survive the storm. It's to build that cargo container that I keep talking about. So let me do some G menu stuff for that. I have a specific order. It's weird to me. I just do it on all servers where I do... search box is your friend, by the way. I will do small, medium, large, and then a junction. What is going on here? Conveyor. Is it because is it locked? So Space Engineers has a limited concept of progression. A lot of servers turn it off. I encourage it. Progression is kind of dumb in this particular game. And I think it's what's getting me right now. So you can see everything here that's grayed out is excluded from my progression. Then you can see what you need to build in order to unlock it. Well, that's new since the update there. So I need to build a conveyor junction, and wouldn't you know it, let's see here. It shouldn't be locked behind anything. Oh, that's it right there. Yep. I have to build a medium cargo container first. Now, to get around this, which is what, 3? Can I even build that on a large grid? I can't. That's so dumb. All right. It's so dumb. I'm just going to come over here. What can I attach it to? Just let me build it somewhere. All you have to do is bring it up to functional and grind it down. And then you'll see under G menu, right? G menu progression. You can now see all these. I just unlocked them. So that's something you can do when you've got a blocker. So now I need to go to Control 2. And can I just drag that down? I've never actually tried that. Yeah, okay, I got my conveyor junction. It's just an arrangement that I'm accustomed to across servers. So what I do want is a small cargo container, which I believe has a large grid version. Right? Yeah. The nice thing about small cargo containers is they have a connector on literally every side. Whoops. Come on. What I should have done, though, and I didn't do, was, let me grind it down. Grab the, okay, components for that. I built a bunch of random components, by the way, just stuff, just more of the usual in there. So there's a bit of a supply in there. It would be harder to do if it weren't for the whole 10x thing. But again, most servers run a little bit of a cargo space bonus. So it might not be entirely different than what you're experiencing. Very happy to see our battery creeping up on full. We got the cargo container. That's super important. What I'm going to do now actually is let's place a little more we could also, so another thing I didn't tell you is I mistakenly told you that that plus meant there were options like small grid and large grid. That's not what the plus means in the light armor block that says 5 right there. It actually means that if you hit the scroll wheel, look over at the hint there. As I scroll, you can see it's changing to different variants of the light armor block, the slope, the corner, inverted corner. And this is actually, so if we wanted to, we could do something like, and then of course, you know, pressing 3 on my numpad to rotate it. We could do 2 slopes, hit 0 to clear that out. And now we can just walk up here. So now we need to move the survival kit, but that's a bit of a touchy thing. So we need to be careful about this because if we do this wrong, we end up in trouble. So because there's 2 things going on, we have to move the survival kit, but we also have to move the O2H2 generator. So I'm going to make sure my tanks are full. Come over here to the O2H2 gen. Oh, that 9%. Yeah, let's get that filled up. There we go, 100%. There's a teeny bit of ice left. And then we can come over here and fill our thing. And now we can destroy these things. But you don't relax again until they're built. So let me grab my grinder here. Oh, that is a bunch of components that were inside there. I can pick those up in a minute. Let's see if I can build it. I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna go do Control 3 just for a new G menu entirely, and then under all blocks, there it is. The survival kit is right there. So then I will go to that. Oops, that was already there. I will pop 3 a couple. That looks right. Yep. So it has the connectors on the 2 sides, and I'll have the screen facing that direction. And then grab my Control 1, and it looks like I can weld the whole thing up. It says I kept the medical comp. That surprises me a little bit. I didn't think that was a thing. Maybe that depends on the server. So the good news is we have a survival kit back. The bad news is right now I can only charge my power. So you see my power is up to 100%, but my O2 is still going down. Well, it has no source of O2 or H2. So we got to work that out. And I'm not going to get any more until we work that out. So why? Oh, did it get struck by? No, I grounded it. I said, hey, did it get struck by lightning? No, it was touched to the. It was touching. Okay, let me. Oh wow. Okay, let's run these over to our storage container, which we could access the storage container directly, or we could access it through the conveyor system. It's just a little faster to access it directly. You can double click on any stack that you just want to insta transport. Oh, that was a mistake. I'll keep that. Double click on any stack you want to insta transport over there. I'll also get the duplicate of my tools out of the way. Yeah, that's good right there. I still weigh surprisingly much. Probably just I have a lot of steel on me. Ah, see, that's what happened to the landing gear was attached directly to the survival kit that I took away. I'm full again. All right. So I'll show you. I could access it through here. I could press I, and then you can see basic refinery, basic assembler. You could actually hit this filter up in the corner, and it says filter storage inventories, and then it just shows you the small cargo container. So convenient. I will take the steel. I'll take back the amount of steel I need, really. So if I just hover over the steel, and same deal, just shift click, I get 100. So now we're going to run back here. Now, what you make noobs do is you say, hey, so-and-so. First, you fill it with ice. And you say, so-and-so, go grind that down. We're done with it. And they're like, okay. And they come over here and go, and they grind it down. And what happens is a gigantic Volkswagen-sized blob of ice is going to appear out of nowhere and blow them away. Really fun, really funny. We're not going to do that. So, why am I not seeing the inventory at all? Oh, because I'm still in the filter. Good catch. Show all types. Let's pull the ice out first. Then we grind this down. We can also grind the battery. It serves no purpose. Again, we don't get the battery comp. But at this point, this thing is just a shell. We can grind as much down as we want, but we're just going to get a little bit of steel out of it. Not much. There's probably some stuff in the conduit there, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. It's not hardly worth my time. And that's that. So we've got our storage container, we got our survival kit. But no H2 and O2. Let me fly for a second and look down at this. Yeah, so we have this, the part that goes up here. This is, as it happens, a great place to put an O2 H2 gen. So, do we have one on the menu right now? We do not. So let's just do that. I'm going to press G. The O2 H2 gen, where are they hiding it? Please tell me I don't have to unlock it. That would make me mad. I think that's it right there. Yep, that's it right there. I'm just going to drag it over the landing gear. And it's already selected, so that's great. Pop 3 a couple times. So there's a conveyor on each side. I believe there's one, yep, on the bottom and one on the top. So if you do this cleverly, you can increase your conveyor options if you do this right. So I actually want to utilize the fact that there's one on the top and one on the bottom and one on the sides. So what I'm going to do here is rotate it like that. And so it will connect on its side down into the cargo container below it. But as we'll see in the end, it'll give us a connector down here, over here, and it'll give us a connector on the far side over here. And it'll give us a connector on top, which I don't necessarily plan on using, but options are good. Let's just see how far we can get with whatever. No, I only have a little steel on me. So let's do the right click thing on it. Oh, come on. There we go. It's got to be green highlighted. And then in the cargo container, middle click, all components successfully withdrawn. It's built. I could either put the ice directly in it, or I think if I just drop the ice in the cargo container, it'll suck it up. Yep, it did. Let's throw the stone in there. Let's throw the scrap in there. And take some more steel. So we want to put more ice in there, but we are back to a situation where we can come to the survival kit, hold F, and everything fills up. Good feeling. Keep in mind, let's press K on that screen and note that it is named survival kit again. We ground down the one that we had given the different name. And actually, if you scroll down, you see spawn name. So you can actually leave the survival kit name and just say like, yeah, Priestman's Mars base. And then if we died and turned auto spawn off, which I should have done, forgot, that is what we would select to come back here. Okay, so we're good progress. We're like established now, finally. We still can't sleep here, but this is a huge important step. I'm going to drop a few more these pieces because we're going to start building out like a base. We got to start thinking those thoughts. And you're probably like, Expressman, are you ever going to get around to welding those things up? And my answer is, yeah, some of them. Some of them I won't even be able to reach, so they'll just stay like that, which is fine until I use build and repair system, in which case then they will actually start getting all welded up, but that'll be later, and I don't want to do that until I really have a lot of steel. It's just not a priority right now. It'll slow down other types of progress that I need to make. All right, so life support systems are in, power systems are good, and production systems are adequate. They're normal, but we need to take it to the next level, and to do that, there's a couple ways we can go from here. We need the assembler, we need the refinery, and we need a miner. So the miner might need to be its own video because it's basically how to build your first little ship, except it's teensy and cute. But we need the ability to refine silver and gold. That is absolutely. Remember what I said? We're going to upgrade the tools. Let's do that. That would be the right thing to do next. So come in here. We go to production. Now notice that there are two methods of production now in our production line. We have the basic assembler and we have the survival kit. Sometimes it'll default to the wrong one, so you just might want to pay attention to that. Oh, my furnace turned on. Okay, so we are going to, looks like I ran out of iron, so I couldn't finish the steel plate I had in queue, and we're never actually going to build this metal grid until I go get some cobalt, which we don't have yet. We will get to that. But tools. So if you see up here in blueprints, if we click on the little angle grinder, we see additional tools, and you see these tools with a single chevron, and those are enhanced. Oh, they need cobalt, and that's the secret sauce. So I think it's time to go mine some cobalt, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Let's drink a little power. Drunk on power. And go to the place I marked on the map, 1.5 kilometers away. We won't have to do this many times. And then over here, there's the iron and there's the nickel. Oh, a dust storm. That's another reason having things GPS located is super important, because your visibility can go to pot. Cobalt 22. You don't have to be super specific because it's like a whole area that's cobalt. All right, kneel, right click, turn the lamp on with L. Sometimes your little guide will go away or shift. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to change, because that cobalt's a whole strata layer, right? It's not one spot. So I'm not going to try to angle toward my indicator up there toward the top right now that says cobalt. You can miss it sometimes if you're at the edge. There it is. Beautiful. There's my last right click, and then switch to left click, holding F. Pick up some of this sweet, sweet cobalt. As I mentioned, this stuff takes a long time to refine, so we might as well just get that process going. This is one of those things where eventually, over time, you want to bank up a fair amount of it. This is why we scale. Alright, we're basically full, so let's head out. So you notice it says respawn pod. Let's get the cobalt in the mine, and we'll fix our little GPS situation and hopefully not be struck by lightning. Look at that. It's totally great for our battery. That kind of makes me want to hurry up and build a second battery to take advantage of this, because that would be good. More power is more power. So we can drop, of course, this stone and cobalt anywhere. The refinery will just suck it up and start to process it. We are stuck needing iron, so that is a thing. But as soon as it starts chewing that cobalt up, and it is right now, we can go back to production, we can go back to tools, and you see that the enhanced grinder is an option. So double click on that. Wait, did I say two? Let's say one click. Sorry, I double clicked for no reason. One click, and it needs iron for the thing. Okay, so one extra trip then. Grab a little iron. Now this is why at one point I was putting my GPS markers precisely at the hole, because it can be pretty hard to find your specific hole. I didn't do that in this game, and maybe that was, I keep hitting K instead of L. Maybe that was a poor decision, but it's what I did. Because often I'll find the spot, I'll dig this hole first, and then I'll fly to the top of the hole, so I'm like literally hovering in the opening of the hole. That's when I'll type /GPS and put in just the specific thing that hole goes down to. And then in low visibility conditions, which could be a storm, or if you play on a server that has a true darkness mod, it could just be pure darkness. Oh, look, there's a little bit of nickel right there. You can really appreciate the being able to find the opening of your mine in low visibility conditions. Try not to run into our wind turbine tower and die. All right. Grab the iron in there, grab the stone in there. We can see here, though, the refinery is going to be chewing cobalt forever if I don't promote the iron, so I'm going to do that. I'll promote the stone, too. Now, hopefully, our production queue should be... Well, let's move that to the front. And now, we can go back to inventory. We can drag our basic tools into the small cargo container. Somewhere around here. There we go. Double click, double click, double click. There is our enhanced tools. We can get out of here. However, keep in mind that now our 1, 2, and 3 spots are unselectable in our G menu. So we have to go to the G menu, because the G menu is configured to expect the basic tools. So we have to go character tools, and you can see now they're opaque, the enhanced welder, the enhanced grinder, and the enhanced hand drill. Again, highly recommend you do that. Get a little performance buff out of each of those, and it's worth it. I'm seriously thinking thoughts about this battery thing. Let's go Control 2 for the G bar. I'll just stack it up there. I will just manually order, I think, 80. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And promote those to the front. I think we have everything needed for those. It's red in the middle column, but it's lying. I don't fully understand that. I think it means that the assembler unit itself hasn't pulled in enough resources to complete the entire order, except for it doesn't try to. That's not how it works. It pulls resources in kind of as it goes. So I only worry when it's red and not moving. Then I look at it and say, okay, what are we out of? But yeah, let's build another battery and take advantage of these power surges vis-a-vis these incessant storms. This is the third one in not very much time. All right, while we wait for that, I mentioned the GPS thing. So let me go kind of close to my survival kit here, maybe at the ramp here. And I'm going to hit K, and over the last column here is GPS, and you can see all the GPS markers I've ever made. I could rename each of these to have Mars at the beginning so that, you know, I know they're Mars. You see the respawn pod. I can then just go delete. I also can go new from current position, new from current pause. It always creates this player name #1. And we can just say Mars home base. And then it is already on show on HUD, but we can actually select always visible. So it's like super persistent. And that's that. I never actually messed with the colors. I suppose we could. So now, you know, obviously if I back up, it doesn't change the color, whatever. There's Mars home base, and remember our pod used to say drop pod location. It doesn't anymore. It's gone. Nice little cleanup. All right, let us see. Well, here we go. Let's right click to order the parts into the build planner. Not to really order the parts, but to put the parts in build planner. Middle click, short some power cells and computers, but this can get us started. Let me go see why it's short on computers. Yeah, we're just straight up out of computers. We got 4. I don't know why I didn't pick those 4 up. Sometimes they have to hit that middle mouse button multiple times for it to like take properly. I don't know. There we go, all components. Sweet. So we have 2 batteries now. I'm feeling really good about this. I never worry when a battery is 3 bars because that could mean 99%. You just have to look at the battery in specific, which, you know, if you go up to the blue panel, of course, press K, we see that this battery is actually in a depletion track because it's trying to charge the other battery. It's a slow depletion track, but see, it says fully depleted in 1 year, and it means 1 actual year, not a game year. And if I go to this one, it says fully charged in 36 minutes. So the full battery is trying to pump up the, and they, by the way, they spawn in with, I think, 25% power exactly. Spawn in when you first build them. It's a little bit of a hack of getting power when you have no way to do it. You can build a couple batteries and get 25% power each. It can be a lifesaver sometimes. So, wow, this storm is not going away. We really are to the point where we do need to build a large refinery or a mining vehicle. We're at 30 minutes in here. I think we could do the large refinery. It takes quite a bit of resources, and we can look at that. But again, the large refinery is critical because that's how we get the ability to refine gold, silver, and maybe magnesium. Maybe this gold and silver, uranium and platinum for sure. So that we can make medical comp which allows us to, amongst other things, build a cryo chamber, which is when, we don't just have a sustainable base, we have a habitable base. Obviously, if you're in a PvP server about now, you're starting to maybe think your first thoughts about defensibility. There are guns you can build. And you, of course, have to mine magnesium for the ammo. Yeah, the storm's crazy. I'm annoyed at it, but at the same time, it's great news for the battery. And eventually these 5 will become woefully inadequate, but right now they're just fine. I could also build a good assembler right now. I hate this thing with a passion. It's a piece of trash. Maybe I can do that. But let's see here. So let me hit the G menu and let's go to production blocks, which is right there. We have the regular assembler. We'll replace the basic assembler on our G menu. And then, so these are interesting. They're a little bit of a different duck. They do something that you don't see a whole lot, even on Space Engineers. And that is that you see how there are 2 rings of yellow in each of those connector ports. And then you see, off to the far left there's just a small yellow ring without the big yellow ring. So the big yellow ring is the conveyor port for large grid. The smaller yellow ring is a connector for mods. And mods in the context of being in the game are machines that enhance a machine. So there are 3 kinds of mods in Space Engineers: speed mods, efficiency mods, and what's the word? Speed, efficiency, and their production volume. They increase the output. So speed mods, obviously, they make the thing go faster, but they also increase the power consumption considerably. Efficiency mods, thing runs at the same speed, but consumes a lot less power. And actually, if you go crazy on efficiency mods, you can have a surprising amount of machinery sipping surprisingly little power. And that might even be something we need to look into initially. And then, of course, what are they called? Actually, that's a G menu thing. The mods are, I'm surprised they're not considered production blocks. Let's just say, are they under all? I felt like I saw them strangely under all. No, are they under, let's see, large? Yeah, they will be. I think they will be. Well, they'll be in progression for sure because I got to unlock them. So there they are. So I need to build an assembler. Well, that's about to happen. And then that opens the speed module. Yes, the yield module. There's the word I was looking for. So yeah, the yield module just gets more for your money. It increases the yield of refineries. They don't do anything for assemblers, but refineries, they get more out of what you deposit into it. But anyway, that's why there's those extra small yellow rings. So let me go ahead and place this, and let's see what it takes to build this. It needs metal grid, but now that we have cobalt, we can actually do metal grid, so that's kind of important. Let's see where we're at on metal grid anyway. We have a teeny bit. Where did we get stopped? I think we're out of iron ingot again. Can I bump? No, metal grid requires quite a lot of iron ingot in itself. We do have 5, but if I recall, it asked for more than 5. Yeah, 10. All right, we need to make one more iron run, and then we can make this assembler. The nice thing about making that assembler is we'll be able to retire this assembler, which is hot garbage. Looks like the storm's clearing up. That's nice, although that means our power collection will go back to normal also. L for light. All right. Crouch a little bit. I usually mind crouching because just you stand up very tall and then you kind of like run up on the edges of these things, and it just turns out to be a bad situation. So that'll hopefully. So we need to do two things at once here. We need to build a large refinery, but we also just really need to build a small miner. Maybe I'll just make this a shorter video, and we'll get to the small miner in the next video, because that will increase the speed at which we do these things pretty substantially. So let's move the iron to the front. Okay, cool. So that should actually keep our production rolling. There we go. And now let's check build planner real quick. I'll hit G. Okay, build planner is empty. Good. Grab the welding thing, right click on the item, middle click on the port. All components successfully withdrawn. We get to our proper assembler. It's quite a bit faster than the basic assembler too, and there's a lot more things it can make. Very nice. So now if we go back in here and look at our production, you see we have three things now. The survival kit, which can make a few things. The basic assembler, which can make more things. Well, there we go. There's what the survival kit can make. There's what the basic assembler can make. And here's what the assembler can make. We picked up superconductor coil. We picked up thruster comp. A lot of these things require, we picked up missiles. And anything else? Yeah, we picked up gravity comp. We picked up explosives. I do believe that is, yeah, and reactor comp, which is very important. Yeah, that's what we added. So we need to retire this basic assembler. So I'm going to right click, clear its queue. We can go to, well, it's just empty. And then let's grind this thing down. I'm so happy. The reason I'm so grumpy at these, besides the fact that they are limited, is the fact that they just have so few. Oh, it's just storing. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to alt click to make this fast as possible. Alt click again. Alt middle click. Oh yeah, pipe is super heavy. Alt middle click that. Alt middle click that. I think that's everything that dropped. But now we have like more connector options again, which is nice. This is actually probably where I would have liked the whatever. It's good. Another thing I should mention is that, well, we'll see it in a second with conveyor junctions, so maybe I'll just leave that off. But you know how it's just nice that we can walk up to these things, press I, and access them? You can't actually do that with conveyor junctions. They look almost identical to a cargo container, but they are not accessible in that way. So I will purposely leave like this spot like it is so that I can easily access what's going on here. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to end this video a little early, and then we are going to tackle building a basic miner and building a large refinery. And if we can do those two things, then yeah, we'll be on a great track for bringing this base around to what we need it to be, as well as get into space, which we need to do for resources. I'm Expressman. I will see you in the next video.